Welcome to First Parish Unitarian Universalist of Canton on the Ponset River UU community. My name is John Donovan, and I'll be your worship associate this morning. I'm joined this morning by a very special guest, the Reverend Stephen Shick. And Reverend Stephen is Minister Emeritus of the Unitarian Church of Marlborough and Hudson, and a longtime supporter of UU Urban Ministry. Professionally, he has been a local peace activist, a national radio broadcaster, a parish minister, and the founding director of 2 national Unitarian Universalist peace and social justice programs. He's the author of 3 books: Be the Change, Poems, Prayers, and Meditations for Peacemakers and Justice Seekers, Consider the Lilies, and Speaking by Heart, the Spiritual Practice of Unscripted Public Speaking. So, welcome this morning, Reverend Stephen. And our lead minister, Reverend Dr. Michelle Walsh, is with us too today in the back. Our community honors diversity and joyfully welcomes all who share the values and principles of our congregation. To all of you present, you're welcome here, whether you're a longtime member, friend, or first-time visitor. And you're welcome here in all of your identities, experiences, beliefs, and relationships, including if you need to wiggle, fidget, walk around, or even dance during songs. We also acknowledge that the building of our congregation resides on the land named as Ponkapog by Indigenous peoples. We invite you to read our fuller land and labor acknowledgement on the interior page of your order of service. If you're visiting us for the first time today in person or on Zoom, we invite you to visit our website to familiarize yourself with our congregation and our offerings. We also invite you to fill the visitor card in your pew, right here, and join us for coffee hour, which will immediately follow our service this morning in the parish hall. Through this door behind me, take a left, go down the hallway, and follow the scent of the coffee. We also warmly welcome those of you joining us on Zoom this morning. Good morning up there. And we send you a virtual air hug. If you're visiting us through Zoom, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat, and our Zoom associate will provide you with any information you need. You may also write a joy or sorrow in the chat now to be shared later in the service. We're very glad you chose to worship with us today. So before we begin our call to worship, I'd like to invite Joe to come up here and light a candle for world peace. Iran comes to the forefront, but there are so many conflicts out there in this world, the ongoing conflicts in Ukraine, Israel, and Palestine, and nameless others that don't make the news. So our thoughts are with everybody in those war-torn areas this morning. And I'm going to invite Reverend Stephen up for the call to worship.
Good to be here with you this morning, and it's a great day to be alive. I bring that greeting from, I'm going to take this off. I bring that greeting from a mentor of years ago. Her name was Mildred Scott Olmsted. And Mildred was the first director of Women's International League for Peace and Freedom in this country back in the 1920s. She was born in 1890. And Mildred was on my board of an organization I ran back in Philadelphia a long time ago, and she was always a presence. And that's a word that I like to let sink in, because she said to me when I would visit her home, in her home, this, which I would like you to help make me feel at home, she would say, "It's good to be here with you, Stephen, and it's a great day to be alive." So I'm going to say the first part, and then you're going to say the second part, which is, "And it's a great day to be alive." It's good to be here with you this morning, and it's a great day to be alive. Oh, I feel better. I feel at home. It's good. It is good to be here. The opening words are from Maya Angelou, her pulse on the morning, pulse of morning that she gave at the inauguration of Bill Clinton. There's an excerpt from that. "Lift up your eyes upon this new day breaking for you. Give birth again to the dream. Women, children, men, take it into the palm of your own hand. Mold it into the shape of your most private needs, sculpt it into the image of your most public self. Here on the dawn of this new day, may you have the grace to look up and out and into your sister's eyes and into your brother's face and say simply, very simply, with hope, good morning, good morning."
Please join me for the unison chalice lighting, which is in your order of service and written by Reverend Stephen. All that we need is here now. From the ages of the earth, we have gathered energy in this chalice. All is ready. Will you strike yourself against life's hard surfaces and let the flame out? Or let it be born from your giving? Let it be eternally released to spread the light. And now please join me for the covenant of our congregation. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace with respect and understanding. To seek knowledge and freedom. To serve our fellows and humankind to the end that all souls shall grow together in harmony. Thus do we covenant with each other and with our God by whatsoever name we worship. Please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, number 149 in the gray hymnal. Lift every voice and sing, number 149.
Sing
Our reading this morning is going to be a selection from our 7 Principles by the Reverend Ken Collier. In his book, Our 7 Principles, the Reverend Ken Collier reflects on how the 1985 UUA General Assembly created what became known as the 7th principle of our UU faith, the interdependent web of all existence of which we are all a part. It is one of our current 6 core values. He writes, "The interdependent web is a far more powerful statement than many of us ever imagined. The theology implicit in it is staggering. In spite of the fact that for Unitarian Universalists, the primary unit of religion is the individual, and the primary religious experience is the individual's ultimate intimate experience of meaning, depth, profundity, and beauty. None of us is isolated from religious communities and the rest of creation. Again, the biological community is a very good model. The primary unit of life is the individual organism, yet no individual organism lives in isolation from its environment. As in the biological community, our spiritual lives are meaningless in isolation from the religious community. Like many other ideas, this is easy to state and grasp, yet not easy to live. This idea is the core of Unitarian Universalist theology, more basic even than the inherent worth and dignity of all. It is in virtue of this interdependence that the world adheres to all." This is the time in our service when we lift up the generosity of all of you, members and friends and visitors. Your pledges and gifts keep our doors open and our programs vibrant. If you're visiting us for the first time, we invite you to make a donation or let the offering plate pass you by and consider yourself our guest, though we do hope you return and consider deepening your relationship with us. For those of you participating remotely, there will be details in the Zoom chat as to how you can make a donation to First Parish. And as a reminder, our Faith in Action collection this month is for the UU Urban Ministry. And we're very grateful for the gifts that you provide. Thank you. And invite Reverend Stephen to come up for our meditation and prayer.
Invite you into these words by Joy Harjo. Then we'll have a moment of prayer and meditation. To pray, you open your whole self to sky, to earth, to sun, to moon, to all things, and you know there is more that you can't see, can't touch, can't know, can't feel, except in waiting moments, like Eagle that Sunday morning over Salt River, circled high in blue sky on wings set our hearts free on sacred wings. We see you, we see ourselves, and we know we must take the utmost care and kindness in all things. We pray it may be done in peace, in peace. Let us join in a moment of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life, God of love, we give thanks for being here and sharing our hearts with one another. The candles that are lit take us from joy to sorrow. We sit with that because we know we must feel what is in each other's hearts. We must know that we are connected in a way that we cannot imagine. And the only way we can have a glimpse of that is to quiet ourselves and know we're part of this wonderful, mysterious, and sometimes frightening web of all existence. So be it with us this morning. I chose that reading that John shared with us on interdependence because there's a link, and it seems obvious, but I would like us to try to go a little deeper into it. When that was written, actually, it was a bit of a miracle itself. In 1985, I had been a UU in Philadelphia in a congregation for just a few years, and then I was asked to be the director of something called the UU Peace Network, which was to organize people around issues of disarmament, nuclear disarmament. Anyway, I'm at this GA, never been at one before in my life, and there's a couple thousand people, and I learned that they've been in a 2-year process to come up with principles, and they've come up with six principles. And they did it at one GA, and then they had congregations talk about it, and then they did it at another GA. And so it was quite a deal that had been gone through. And a man, Reverend, Paul LaRue, got up and he said, I'm proposing a 7th principle. Yeah, a little bit of chutzpah on his part, and I couldn't believe it. All of a sudden, this room is quiet, and then there's approval. And they go through a little process, but it's a very small process, where the 7th principle is adopted. Now, that's a kind of a minor miracle to have that many Unitarian Universalists to agree on one thing in such a short time. And what Ken Collier in that reading is pointing to, that it has also evolved. Initially, it had to do with ecology, environment, and then it moved on into climate change and all of the work that we do to try to make the planet livable. And so that was the kind of the evolution of that interdependence. And as he points out in the reading, it points us to something else. We're only beginning to get a glimpse of what interdependence really means. And we know we're dependent on, quote, the environment. And we're beginning to get the idea we're not the top of the pyramid of evolution. We're beginning to catch on to the indigenous wisdom that we are one of all many creatures. And then now there's talk of consciousness in trees. We can imagine a little bit in animals, but in trees there's a consciousness. This interdependent theme is really big if we get a hold of it. And so I wanted to use that as part of an introduction to talking about the UU urban ministry. Expanding definitions. Joseph Tuckerman, as many of you know, was the founder of what became the Benevolent Fraternity in Boston and then became the UU Urban Ministry. And Tuckerman was born in 1778, I think. Wow. That's a long time ago. And it was a difficult time. He was born in the middle of that war for independence. And he went to Harvard. He got to know William Ellery Channing, who is dear to all of us in terms of having put together ideas that moved us into being separate from the regular Christian community, of God being in us and we being part of God. So Tuckerman goes off to do a church, to be a member of a rural church in Chelsea. And he serves that church, but he has a passion, he has a passion for the community. And he begins to serve the seamen in that community who are afflicted, many of them, with alcoholism, and there's violence. And he serves them in a way that grows into an organization that actually serves the seaman, and one that really is a prototype for what we have come to know as modern-day social work. Your dear good minister knows a little bit about that. That work opened him up in a new way to understanding what it was about interdependence. He didn't use the word, but he approached it as somebody who saw he had two tasks. He had a task of waking up congregations and to seeing that they are somehow not just responsible but connected and needed to be connected to the work of the community, in the community. When he, after 25 years, retires from Chelsea because of health and some other reasons, the American Unitarian Association is founded at about that time. And his friend William Ellery Channing is part of helping to create that. And they designate him as a minister at large. Now, things do move slowly, and I want to put a little footnote here. So ministers at large, he did not have a congregation. What grew into the urban ministry is what he created. It took another couple hundred years for our denomination, our religious association, to catch on to community ministry as ministers at large, and as we feel and know them today. That was not true even in 1980. There was a group of us who were working for organizations who went to chapter meetings, UU minister chapter meetings, and they said, well, you can come, but you can't really be a member. Wow, what a change that has happened. So I just point that out as another indicator of how indeed we are continuing to evolve in our interdependence. And now we have community ministers that are all over doing wonderful work associated with churches and not. But anyway, so Tuckerman was doing that work, and he began to, I think it began to change him. When he finally wrote his autobiography, he had some words I'd like to read to you. And he writes this in the third person. He began visiting the poor, and though there was much that was discouraging at the beginning of his enterprise, his prospects of usefulness soon began to brighten. At the end of the first year, he had become acquainted with 170 families. And at the expiration of another 6 months, he recognized 250 families as belonging to his pastoral charge. And there were scarcely a dark alley or a place in the city which he had not explored to get to know people. To this form of benevolent activity, Dr. Tuckerman devoted the residue of his life, laboring to improve and elevate the conditions of the poor with all intense and ruling passion that he had. He argued for the treatment of alcoholism as a disease rather than as a failure of will. And this was part of a real change from the idea that the Calvinists had taught, that we are born sinful, and to move us into understanding that we are indeed were born with goodness inside. And so that's the foundation of our UU urban ministry. And many of you know of the work and have supported it, and this congregation has definitely supported it, and your minister has definitely been deeply involved in the work, which I'll just give a quick litany of some of the programs of the UU urban ministry, and then I want to return a bit to this idea of interdependence. The UU urban ministry, through its its youth program has done amazing things for hundreds and hundreds of children. Simply being there, and now on the Roxbury campus, being there and being able to say, we can help tutor, we can help you with your SATs, we can help you get into college, your applications for colleges, doing all of that in a way that really brings people alive with the sense that, wow, I can do this. I can do this, not a small task. And in the same way, there's something as a relatively new program, See Me, what is it called? I just popped out of my mind. See Me in the World. Where youth come together and have put on tours for in the local community, and then lead other students to learn of the beauty and the history of Roxbury, and to give it a sense that it is indeed a place to be proud to be from, and to know of the history, whether it's the Malcolm X Park, and also then this segues into some of the other tours. There's a tour this June, I think June 14th, called Roxbury Ramble. This is done not by the students but by adults, where the art and the work that is being done in the community is lifted up, and people are taken and get to see it firsthand. This is not a small piece of work, and I'm sure you have heard here. I understand Margaret Earl has spoken to you about the programs that the urban ministry has that helps in these times to transform lives, and that is a gift. That is a gift. Way back in 1980, Renewal House was opened, which is a shelter for women, abused women and families. Wow, what a piece of work over such a period of time. So much so that those who have been helped have been coming back for a long time to help others. And to do that with not only firsthand knowledge, but with a safe place. And, at least sitting in the places I live and mostly reside in, I do not understand that. I have to scratch my brain to think of the 20 years I lived in Philadelphia in a very marginal community, to get a remembrance of what it is to be in fear and to have a safe place to go is exceptional. And because of all of your work and support, it is made possible. Some of you know, and have probably been part of the refurbishing of the Roxbury Church. And on June, what is the date? I think it's the 13th. Yeah, it's just in a couple of weeks. There'll be a rededication of that sanctuary. If you haven't seen it, make the trip. It's worth it. It is a beautiful redone sanctuary. In addition to the Peace Garden, and there's always opportunities for folks to help in creating and being part of that. This is something that I think calls us to an understanding of interdependence that is sometimes lost. It's not about charity. It's not about just giving money, although that's really important. It's about being connected in whatever way you can in your heart and physically by being part of what is going on in the UU Urban Ministry campus, being part of that. And so I would invite you to try to get to that deeper sense. One of the ways that the UU Urban Ministry does that, of course, and has done it for a long time, is through arts and humanities, and showing and being part of the art and the aliveness. I like that simple word. Aliveness that is there. And it can be seen in the art, whether it's in taking people to the Roxbury Community College and seeing the art, going to Malcolm X Park and seeing the art, and then bringing it to you. I don't know if you've had them come here, but yes? Okay. The church I attend in Lexington had many of the artists from UU Urban Ministry that work with them come out and show their display and then sell them. And the congregation in Lexington, one of the members purchased for the congregation this beautiful portrait of Frederick Douglass. It's just awesome. But being in touch and being part of it in that way, helps us feel connected. And then that can grow into something of really being connected. And knowing that our awareness, I think there's some words by, and I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, Leila Watson. Do you know this? Yeah. If you've come here to help, then you're not going to be of much use. But if you've come here to work together with us, then let us join together. Something, not exactly the right words, but you get the idea. And that interdependence is something I need to work at. I need to do it, even though I think what I have done in my life and my career has put me in touch and aware, but there's still this distance that somehow I feel that I need to break open. And I want to share a little piece from the urban ministry, and this is, good Lord, this is 6 years ago, because as you know, that was a time of George Floyd's death, all of the deaths that were happened to Breonna Taylor and others, and the UU urban ministry was beginning to look at it not in a totally different way, but holding up what I consider this thought of really being interdependent. And so in a statement they wrote, the UU urban ministry stands at the intersection between communities. Boston's historic African community, directly and disproportionately impacted by economic, educational, social, environmental, and health injustice, encircled by UU congregations of predominantly white people who have inherited their privilege. We will continue to transform our historic Roxbury campus, inherited in 1976 from the UU congregation that died because of white flight, into a hub to serve the community of Roxbury. We will prioritize using our space to serve our programs and also groups working for racial justice. We will welcome artists and leaders speaking truth about our nation's history and use our historic meeting house to light Roxbury's arts and artists. We will interrogate, it's a great word, we'll interrogate the racial history of our inherited meeting house. Investigate ways that the First Church Roxbury and the Unitarian Universalist urban ministry served and failed to serve people of color. And we will tell those multiple stories. It's hard. It's a journey. The church I attend, sure just like you, trying to get a hold of that. We put banners a couple of years ago 130 banners of those who were enslaved by members of the congregation. This is the 250th anniversary, right? And the 250th anniversary last year of the Battle of Lexington. And all the streets have names of people, and so many of them are slave owners. Wow. And for us to begin to hold that up in the church, whose pastor at that time had slaves, is beginning to have a reckoning of our interdependence and how we've kind of whitewashed that word, put it in a different place through the way we've lived. And now we need to come to terms. And it's not easy. It's not an easy task. It's one that we'll be called to do again and again. But I think by starting with the support and your continued support of the UU Urban Ministry and what is being done in Roxbury and what is being brought to us with the opportunity to understand how we are linked inseparably, the interdependent web of all existence, then we begin to move in a new place. Begin to move in a new place. I want to leave you with some words by Dag Hammarskjöld, who also had a vision of what a United Nations might be. He was the second Secretary General of the United Nations, as many of you know. And he said, "You're not the oil, you're not the flame, you're merely the flash point where the light is born. You will know life and be acknowledged by it by your degree of transparency, your ability to vanish as an end and remain as a means." And I hope that we all can understand ourselves as a means of growing our own sense, transforming our sense to a new reality of our interdependence and supporting the work of the UU Urban Ministry. So be it with us this morning. Let us join in singing our closing hymn, which is "We Are a Gentle, Angry People," verses 1, 2, and 4. It's number 170 in your hymnal. Let us go from this place we made sacred by our coming together. Let us go knowing that we have a dependence on one another, that we are inseparable from one another, and that we can find the beauty that we seek to create a new world by working together. So be it with us this morning.
And please join me for our unison chalice extinguishing. In the order of service, we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And please remain seated for our postlude by the very talented Jeanette.